Hey Scorpio, it has been a while. I apologize for being a little bit quiet on my end this month. I have been switching over to timeless readings, so you can actually trust this video to reach you whenever it is meant to find you. You're also welcome to look at other videos on this channel. I am really curious to see what comes through in the tarot for you today. I already did some connecting with spirit and pulled some supporting energies. But before we get into all of that, I just want to thank all of you who support this channel with your likes, shares, comments, subscribes. All of that helps this channel grow and allows me to continue putting these messages out for all of you. You can also hit the bell notification so you can always stay up to date with when I upload, which I apologize has been a little infrequent, but I will be changing that. I will be uploading more regularly. We'll be getting back to our programming shortly. So definitely hit that bell so you can stay up to date and always know what's in the cards for you. And you can find all of my links in the description of this video for my social media accounts and my website, where you can book a personal reading or distance Reiki session with me. I do want to talk about some of the impressions that came in, and then again, we will pull some cards for you. But the first thing that really came forward was this owl. And this particular image, this owl was kind of perched up right above me looking down, and it was a little bit imposing, not just in this stance or in this posture, but the owl itself was also very tall. I think it was like 3 feet or a meter tall, give or take. And this very much felt like you are being tested. Sometimes there's like a message of discerning things, really reading between the lines, seeing what's going on beneath the surface or what's not always obvious or visible to our human perception. Owls are very beautiful animals with a very highly evolved sensory system, and so they do have a lot of connotations to things like clairvoyance or clairaudience, which is psychic seeing or psychic hearing. This particular scene was silent, however, so maybe there is a very deep internal listening that is going on. There was also quite a bit of geometry while connecting to your energy, so maybe some of you are just being very clairvoyant this month, or there's some sort of activation you are receiving there. But it also did feel like this particular owl was almost like this guardian of a forest. And it was like, before you can pass, you must pass the test. And there's almost like spirit is testing you, is what I'm really getting. Before you can move to the next chapter, before you can move forward in your life. And maybe you even need to trust your own intuition. You need to trust your own internal guidance above all. And that could be the test too. There was also kind of this other scene I saw where I was standing on this road. Everything was happening at night, by the way. And I'm standing on this dark road, kind of on this mountainside, and there are all these trees. And I see these lights, almost like a headlight, moving off in the distance and sort of weaving along this road, and it would disappear. And then it would be closer, kind of weaving for a while. You'd see the light shining between the trees and then disappear again. And then by the time it was actually visible, it was actually a sphere of light that was hovering or flying over this road. Not very quickly, but it was very, very bright. And maybe you are getting flashes of something. Maybe this is your intuition that's coming in waves or coming in dreams. And again, with it kind of coming and going, maybe you're doubting yourself. Maybe you're even questioning, am I really picking up on what I'm sensing? Did I really just see what I saw? It's almost like you are wondering or second guessing your own perceptions here, but it's important that you really go deep and trust yourself and really sit with yourself. I wasn't moving in this visual sequence either. Something was coming towards me, towards my perspective. So it does feel like there is something coming towards you. And being a sphere of light, it does kind of feel a little otherworldly. Maybe there is some sort of like extraterrestrial connection or like UFO connection. But what this really feels like is there is something that is coming to you, and it is specifically seeking you out. And I kind of got this as sort of a recurring theme, especially with that owl watching you. And I was curious, is there something going on in relationships for you, Scorpio? Is there someone in your life now who is watching you. And as I kind of wondered and asked that question, I was immediately in a very different scene. It was kind of like this foggy, gray lake, and everything was very still. And you couldn't really see much further out. There were trees sort of off in the distance, but everything was super misty and mysterious. But there were these eyes that kind of rose up from the water, and it appeared to be a woman. It doesn't necessarily need to be a feminine energy that is watching you. That's just how it came through my intuition. But it did feel like confirmation that yes, there actually could be someone who is kind of watching from beneath the surface and doing so in secret. This face was very hidden. You only saw the eyes. Maybe someone is spying on you on social media or just kind of watching you. This does feel like someone you know. It does feel like someone who's maybe behind the scenes or someone from the past. I'm just getting that kind of connection with this face coming out from underneath the water. So maybe you are sensing that there is someone from the past, someone who is watching you and almost like judging you or gauging you. And maybe, I don't even think this person is going to reach out right now. It feels more like this person is kind of like almost a little bit jealous or envious or like wanting to make sure you haven't moved on without them is something I could really get with that too. I don't feel like this person has great intent, if I'm being completely honest. It feels like there's just something that's a little like they want you to not progress. They almost want to keep your energy down. It feels a little toxic because of their own damaged self-worth or whatever. So you may want to cleanse your energy, cleanse your space, do some protection work or some ward work. That could be something that is very, very helpful for you right now, especially if you're just kind of feeling like, I think you're just more sensitive to spirit in general, and that actually makes a lot of sense for the rest of the year, because we do have Jupiter in your astrological 8th house of Gemini until May 2025. And so there's a lot of spiritual growth. There could also be a lot of focus on sexuality, on secrets. So it does feel like there's this very hidden presence or hidden elements at play right now in your life. But there's a lot of growth and hidden opportunities as well. There could potentially be something that is changing or ending. I didn't necessarily get it with the owl, but the owl sometimes can signify a death or ending. And Jupiter being in the 8th house, maybe you are sensing some sort of major change or transition. I don't want that to freak anybody out, though. You'll kind of know what your intuition is telling you. It's going to be very specific and individual to you. But anyways, I did pull some cards as support, and I got Kahash and Lady's Mantle. And what's very interesting is that the message on Kahash is repel, and Lady's Mantle is magic. So, I mean, right here, you are in a very magical time. What's actually interesting is that both of these cards, or both of these plants, I should say, have traditionally been used to treat gynecological issues. So maybe that's also something that's going on. Maybe there's something with sexual health that's happening right now. But what's really interesting, besides these energies both being very feminine, and even the sort of image I had at the lake was very feminine too. I'm so sorry, I'm just receiving. Some of you are also sort of integrating a feminine wound. You're recovering something that was like a mother wound or a feminine injury. The way that you relate to your feminine side, regardless of how you identify, that's something that could really be kind of coming up for you from beneath the surface. Anyways, Kohash is also known as Bugbane. And this plant can be toxic in some quantities, but it does repel insects. So again, it does feel like you need to really protect your energy, protect your space, being kind of selective with who is around you. And maybe there's even some sort of purification that you are going through yourself, where your energy might be repelling people who are no longer a match to you, and to just kind of trust that. But I really do feel like some of you would benefit from doing some sort of protective work. Working with the spirit of your home is something that can be very powerful as well, or spirits of your home. They'll kind of maintain the space and that protection for you, or even just the land that you connect to. Lady's Mantle is actually interesting because while Kohash can be toxic in large quantities, this card is actually, or this plant, I keep alternating between the two, was actually believed to be a cure-all by alchemists, particularly the water that is collected in this plant. And Lady's Mantle, again, very feminine, is kind of this receptacle. And so the water that is stored in the leaf was thought to be able to cure ailments and to be very magical. And so you are kind of cultivating this inner well of magic. And maybe there are spirits or people who are sensing this. And not all of this is positive. I'm just going to be very honest. I'm very frank on this channel. It's not all negative either, but you do need to be very, very discerning with what is in your space and kind of who is in your orbit. Anyways, I do want to get into the tarot for you. I cannot believe how long, 1111A, there could definitely be some activation happening right now, or some sort of portal or doorway. This is also a really good time for you to do some manifestation work and to not focus so much on the who or the what specifically and focus more on the feeling or on the calling. What are the messages that we have for Scorpio? What is going on for Scorpio? Show us clearly, please. Wow, we have the High Priestess coming in first. Again, not surprising at all. Your intuition is very, very strong. You have a very strong connection to the spirit world right now. And I really do believe that when you have this light, when you have these spiritual gifts or this energy, a lot of the time spirits on the other side don't even necessarily know what they are interacting with in the physical world. They just see kind of a vague impression, a light. And so you yourself are very attractive, very interesting. And that can actually be a quality of the High Priestess as well. She can almost represent a sort of forbidden fruit to others. So there can be kind of a sexuality to her too. Some of you may be doing something about healing sexuality or connecting deeper with sexuality or just creative life force energy. Those two are kind of one and the same. But you are very, very magical, very, very strong. And I do feel like in the past there was a connection that was almost like a spiritual test or initiation for you. It does also feel like there could be gifts that are coming in from the past as well, because I did get the Six of Pentacles. Interesting that I almost said Page of Pentacles, because that can also be an opportunity or a messenger coming in. But it does feel like you are seeing the fruits of your labor, or you will see the fruits of your labor. You're sensing that there is some sort of growth or gift coming in. And that's very much about Owl as well, kind of receiving those gifts that can be hidden. And they can often be spiritual, but it can be material. It does feel like there could be a windfall or some money coming your way. Maybe there's finally a promotion or a raise for some of you, but it does feel like there's a nice little gift. And it does feel like with the Moon and the Three of Pentacles, or I'm sorry, Three of Wands in reverse. I don't know why I keep crossing my words today. There is some confusion. Things are not super clear right now. You're really trusting your intuition and feeling through something. And it's almost like this foggy energy that I keep getting, this dark energy. I really am just kind of like blown away, because this is so much about the image that came through. I was even wondering if I needed to pull cards for you today, to be completely honest. And with this portal of the Three of Wands, I just had that flash again of like seeing the light between the trees and it kind of coming and going. That is what I get here. Something is coming in a very unexpected form or unexpected way. And it might even be even bigger than what you are expecting. Because those headlights, you would think it's a car, but it was like almost this otherworldly light or beacon coming towards you. you are really being tested. Your faith is being tested. Spirit is testing you right now. And it might even be testing you with the people in your life too. But we do have the Nine of Pentacles coming in. I do feel like there is abundance coming in. But again, this feels like it's coming in a bit of an unexpected way or unexpected form or medium. This actually does look pretty good for finances for a lot of you, especially if you've been struggling and maybe you're kind of like, when is the situation going to improve? It does feel like there's an opportunity coming in that will help you feel more stable, more secure. But right now, the sort of central energy here is one of mystery. It's one of having faith. It's one of trusting your intuition, and also really manifesting. You know, don't short sell yourself. Sometimes we can actually manifest a lot more than we realize. Or we kind of make our life like thinking, well, if I have this amount of money, then I can get these opportunities. I can get the house, I can get the car, or the things that I want. But that could also come through in other ways too. And that's like what manifestation, at least in my experience, it's a lot easier to just bring those things, you know, bring the feeling of security, bring a home, bring places you like to be, experiences you want to have. That can be a way of being abundant right now too. Any other messages for Scorpio right now? Where's all of this leading? We do have the Page of Wands and Justice. Very, very interesting. I really do feel like Page of Wands is about trusting inspiration and creation and acting on those things. Very interesting that this is coming up with the context of justice, because this is often about karma or balance. If there's like a creative project that you've been working on for some time, maybe your own creativity has been a little bit elusive, but it will come to you in the right time. Justice is also Libra energy, so maybe there's something with a Libra transit, maybe Libra season. There could be something coming in for you, which is end of September to end of October. But I really get the sense like this Page of Wands still feels very internal to me. Like this magic, this thing that you're doing in secret. I feel like it's really important with who you are sharing what to. Don't let people take the wind out of your sails, even if they're a bit well-intentioned or like just trying to look out for you, or just be practical. I actually think it's really important that you keep some ideas to yourself right now. There might also be something that you are creating for like a specific cause. Maybe you're creating to speak out against certain social issues. That could be something as well. Yeah, I'm getting social justice here. That could also be a focus right now, which is interesting. Anything going on? I'm kind of curious what is going on in relationships for you, Scorpio. Ten of Wands in reverse. It does feel like there was a relationship that became too much of a burden, that was something that needed to be let go of. It was just too much work. It was too hard, maybe too one-sided. And you're now in this place of learning to lean on others and get support from others. Maybe you have been really taking on a lot yourself. And you're now seeking out different types of relationships. I still really feel like you're in a very solitary energy, if I'm just being honest. It feels very internal, almost like Dark Night of the Soul, or just like very introspective right now, which is kind of interesting. I am recording this in summer, so you would think it's like a very kind of extroverted time, and maybe you are going out and doing things, but it feels like there's a lot that's happening inside of you. And that's where the real meat is. That's where the real focus is for you right now. I feel like you got burned. Someone really put a lot on you, or there was just a situation or a relationship that had so many factors working against it, and that might be why it just didn't work out, or there was just a lot going on. someone wasn't able to prioritize you, or you weren't able to prioritize them. That feels like a past energy for me. Eight of Swords in reverse. Maybe feeling a little stuck. If there's someone who's like coming to your mind a lot, especially out of nowhere, maybe this person is thinking about you, maybe even doing some magic on you as well. I don't love that, but that is something I could kind of feel from this. Because it's like something, being unable to let go of something that's a burden. Or something that's just too much, too heavy, too much responsibility. That's what I'm getting in relationships. That could be you, that could just be the situation that happened or a situation that is happening, but this feels more about a past connection. And it feels like one or both of you tried to let go, but hasn't been able to do that fully. And it's almost like because the situation was like, there may have been forces out of your control. I'm getting a lot of regret, a lot of like second guessing. Interesting. Here's the owl, that queen or mother of swords here. Libra energy again, actually. We do also have some Pisces and Cancer energy with the High Priestess and the moon. And that could be sun, moon, or rising for this person. And even the Mother of Swords is very intuitive, very intelligent, very perceptive. I feel like someone was pretty harsh with you, or just like overly logical, overly objective. The Mother of Swords or Queen of Swords often does harbor some pain from a separation or something that has ended, whether that's a romantic relationship or partnership, or even just like empty nest sort of thing. I do feel like there is something with like mother for some of you as well. Maybe you've estranged yourself from your mother, or not really estranged, but like distance yourself from your mother. That could be something that could be coming through for some of you as well. But I keep getting the sense like there are people checking in on you. There's people kind of spying on you, interested in you. What do you do? What does Scorpio do with this energy? Okay, I'm going to take this card, but I'm also going to pull an animal card. The World in reverse. Whoa. Ooh, whoa. There's a situation where it feels like you just didn't get closure, and you're not really supposed to right now, or maybe even ever. And, you know, that can be sort of a heavy, heavy energy. Because it's almost like this person can't give you the closure or say the thing that you know they're thinking. I don't know why. Like, this person, or maybe you, or maybe just a situation, you can't actually say, like, I'm sorry, I miss you. Like, too much has gone on, too much happened. And you just need to let this go. And it's hard because it's heavy, it's so big. It's like, how do you even let go of something this massive? And that might be the test, Scorpio. That might be the challenge here. Is kind of being in this in-between. There may still be lessons. There may still be things that you are learning from past relationships right now. Especially if you are single, or even if you are in a relationship. There's just lessons. There's things that you're integrating from past relationships, either with lovers, or for some of you, this could be your mother. Those, or maybe both. And there's something about like, you just can't get closure. This other person can't give you that closure. Maybe you can give yourself some sort of closure. Maybe there's some sort of ritual or something that you can do symbolically to kind of move forward or integrate. This feels like a very big protect your energy from this person. I do want to pull an animal card as well. I feel like someone's almost like afraid of you becoming more successful than them. Like that hurts their ego. You are doing more with your life than this person has done. Or you are growing in a way that makes this person kind of triggered. They see a potential in you, and that's why they had to keep you down. Wow. They didn't want to lose you, but they also tried to keep you down. It's actually kind of sad. You know, this person kind of feels like kind of abusive or toxic, but I actually do feel sort of bad because when people do that, they really don't think well of themselves. Wow, interesting. We have Gazelle, and the art in this card really spoke to me because it's looking head on. Gazelle is a prey animal, but this particular gazelle is very calm. It's very aware. It's acknowledging what is in its environment. It sees what's going on, but it's not really moving. It's like, yeah, I see you. And there's just something about the acknowledging of that presence that is protecting you. And I really don't feel like you need to panic either. We do also have camel. And interesting that I was talking about with Lady's Mantle, that water from within being that receptacle, because that is all camel is about. It's about finding that wellspring within you. You have a power, you have a light, you have a magic to you. Someone didn't believe you. Someone was very skeptical of you, but that's because they were secretly envious or jealous or afraid that you were too good for them. And you know this, you feel this. You also are quite creative as well. I feel like you are very spiritual, and your spirituality informs something that you make or put out into the world. Gazelle does have this kind of connection to art, to beauty. It's very Venusian, or Venus, the planet, to me. I feel like some of you could really be tapping into your Venus sign, actually. That might be something that's really useful, as well as your Lilith sign. And if you don't know what those are, I actually do have a chart calculator in the description of the video. And again, I do chart readings as well. So maybe that's something that we can explore together, because Venus can be about that artistic expression or that beauty, that femininity, those feminine wounds, especially with Lilith. Because you're a powerful witch, Scorpio. And again, that's regardless of gender. But there is something mystical about you. You have this kind of priestess energy to you. And you are kind of going through a test right now, but you know where the oasis is. You know where the water is. Because gazelle is something I often associate with being by the watering hole in the savannah. And the camel travels days, I believe even weeks, without water. And finds those oases to replenish, to rejuvenate. So going to those places, even if you're kind of going through a hard time, but there's something very spiritual and beautiful here. There's a lot of growth, and there's something very, very rich that I'm getting for you, a spiritual gift that you are honing, or a craft that you are honing. I love your energy, actually, Scorpio, and it's not surprising that there are people who are looking at you, and there could be some good interest as well, that there could be some good attention, but I really do feel like there's almost someone who is blocking something, someone new coming into your life, or new opportunities coming into your life, because they're afraid of you moving on. And I've been having a hard time speaking, and I'm just having my hand over my throat. It's like there's this blocked communication, but there's something beautiful coming in. Trust that. I do hope that this was helpful for you, Scorpio. Definitely be sure to hit like and subscribe, especially if you've made it this far. All of my links, again, are in the description of this video, and you're more than welcome to check out the other videos on my channel and see what pops out at you as well. I will see you next time. Take care, Scorpio, sending many blessings and love your way.